I don't know if you've seen the trailer for The Last of Us Part 2, but it's freaking awesome. Seriously. That was a good trailer. But then we go back into an article. Didn't like the trailer. As it's titled, "Stop Using Extreme Violence to Sell Your Game." Yeah. Okay, so what's wrong with the trailer exactly? Let's get into that. Bones bludgeoned with a hammer. A noose wrapped tightly around a struggling woman's neck. The blade of a knife pressed into a vulnerable stomach. The gruesome imagery Naughty Dog manages to cram into a 5-minute trailer from The Last of Us Part 2 is physically uncomfortable to sit through. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that was an awesome trailer. If you hadn't seen it, go look at it. Like, seriously, pause, go find it, look at it. It's definitely worth watching. It's pretty good. And, yeah, I kind of want to play the first one. Because I have to say, I've not actually played The Last of Us at all. But that trailer for Part 2 looks like it's going to be really good. I mean, it left a lot of questions. I have no idea why these people are there. And from what little I can gather, you know, you seem to have somewhat of a zealous religious type, I guess, right there, because she's talking about the demons or something like that. And no idea why they had the other woman strung up. And then they beat that girl's arms, or one arm anyway, before she gets saved by the other guy who was there, the other kid, who they were apparently looking for. But leaves you with questions going, you know, what's going on? Why is this happening? And that's nice. It's something you don't see in a trailer that often these days. Usually things have to be spoiled. People apparently like to be spoiled. Meanwhile, I have to avoid every single trailer so things aren't spoiled for me. Like when it comes to Star Wars, you know, the new Star Wars is going to come out and everything. I'm sure there's plenty of trailers out for it, but I've avoided them. I don't want to be spoiled for it. I want to see what happens when I get there and see it, because I want to see it. I hate it when a movie is spoiled to me through the trailers, because for whatever reason everybody, or they think, or maybe everybody actually does, wants to see what's going to happen in the trailers. If I already know how everything's going to play out, there's no real point in watching the movie at that point. But anyway, that was a small tangent. Let's keep going. The victims of the vicious assault, 2 women, are unarmed. It's not clear why we're watching 2 people be tortured, but we're asked to take in the extreme violence under the assumption that we'll be rewarded with more information for doing so. That information never comes, however, and all we're left with is residual nausea. So this is going to be that kind of person. The one who wants the spoiled. I am totally fine with being left with questions unanswered, as long as they get answered. I hate it when a game leaves questions unanswered, and you assume it's going to happen in, I guess, the sequel, and then the sequel never happens. That I hate. In a trailer, I don't want that information. I want to have a reason to go play. That trailer makes me want to get this, play it to see why they were there, what was going on, and what's going to happen next. That's a good trailer. The author here is an idiot. They want all that information. This is the person who wants to press skip to skip gameplay and go straight to the cutscenes. Because apparently watching a Let's Play isn't good enough. Anyway, a trailer is a pitch to the audience of what to expect from the full game. In the past, Naughty Dog's trailers have captured a particular mood or suggested a compelling relationship, but here, the promise is almost exclusively gore. There's an argument to be made that the trailer raises an an exciting question. Why are these women being attacked? But that mystery is both too familiar and too broad. I don't even know why I even read these things. Seriously. It's like, the point is here, like way up here, and your head is way down there, and it just glosses right over you. You know, the trailer doesn't sit there and suggest we can expect nothing but gore from this game. What it shows us is two people being essentially captured, tortured, the woman asking where the other apostate is, and then getting, then getting rescued, essentially, before being attacked again by the other things there. The monsters, the demons, the whatevers. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's advertising pure gore. If I remember correctly, that game is about sort of a zombie type thing, like a fungus or something that took over people and things like that. I mean, I haven't played it. I need to play it now, because it looks like it'd be really dang good. Especially the second one. But, yeah, the mystery, I don't know about it being too familiar. To be honest, I'm used to trailers spoiling things for me. And being too broad, it doesn't really. No, not really. Anyway, without any context, the trailer fails to introduce, or even really taste the story players will embark on. That is a problem. Why? Why is that a problem? Why is that a problem? The trailer is not supposed to sit there and really tease us on anything other than the game itself, and it did that. Just because it... You know what? Let me re-say this. The trailer does. It teases the story, because you have no idea if that's part of the story, or if that is just something they rendered purely for a trailer. For all you know, that could be in the first 5 minutes of the game. You have no idea why you're there, and you have to piece that together, bits and pieces, right afterwards. You find out right afterwards, or something like that. You have no idea if it really teases the story. None. It could have just introduced us to the first 10 minutes of the game in that 5-minute trailer. And that is not a problem. Not one bit. Anyway, the violence is particularly upsetting as it features the assault of women. Yes. I mean, no. Okay, it's not upsetting. And yes, it features an assault on a woman. How is that particularly upsetting? Talking about a fictional woman in a fictional world in a fictional story. There's going to be violence of some kind. Same way that it happens to every single man that has ever been in a fictional story, in a fictional world, in a fictional game, for a fictional man who is being tortured or gutted or anything else. Or, how is that upsetting? Just because it's a woman? Go take a hike somewhere. Seriously, go take a hike. Violent attack on women many times for the purpose isn't new. Violent attacks on women many times for the purpose isn't new. The Killing Joke saw the Joker torture Barbara Gordon in a statement that reinforced the notion that gender influences violence. No. There's a reason why the Joker was torturing her. You don't get it, you don't know it, because you probably never really read it, or it just flew over your head like everything else. But anyway, the volatile imagery used in the trailer to underline the erroneous act, hindrance? Anyway, I can't read. I never can read, apparently. Acts being committed on familiar scenes to us. We've seen this play out in other TV shows or movies before, and in real life. 35% of women have experienced violence at the hand of another person in their lifetime, according to a 2017 report from the United Nations. And what does that have to do with the beans in China? Seriously, nobody cares. We're talking about a video game, a trailer on a video game. You're trying to tell me why it's bad. And your whole argument so far has been because a woman is almost hung, and then the other girl essentially gets her arm smashed in. And therefore it's bad. Meanwhile, in the scene, 2 guys get killed along with another chick. One for an arrow to the head and 2 with a hammer to the head. But we're stuck on the 2 women who were injured during this whole thing. And that's why it's bad. Okay. So, yeah. That makes a lot of sense, I guess. The fact that is a woman herself, the antagonist is a woman herself, does little to undercut what this trailer is on its most blunt level. An extended sequence of brutal and unexplained violence against women being used to thrill the viewer and ultimately sell a video game. Point you nowhere near each other. Oh, seriously, that is what you took from it. A woman getting beat equals bad trailer. Never mind the fact that you got 2 guys who die and another chick who dies in this, but those 2 women who got a little bit, it got a little bit worse for them, I guess, on the whole smashing her arm in kind of thing. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. With a game like The Last of Us Part 2, in which presumably there are dozens of other scenes to showcase why pick this scene where women are being sadistically brutalized. I don't know. Did you ask them? Seriously, did you go and maybe ask them? Did they give you an answer? What does it matter? It's a scene to sort of draw you to the game. It looked good. It made me wanting to know what was going on. It makes me want to play. To me, that trailer did exactly what it set out to do. When Naughty Dog played a gameplay trailer during E3 in 2012, people called the 5 minutes spent tracking down hunters and annihilating them gratuitous with its violence. So, look, you're dealing in a world where there are monsters and you're complaining about the violence. Seriously. You know, instead of complaining, why don't you write your own? Do us all a favor and figure out how you can write a thriller story such as this without the use of violence. Actually, you know what? That's a good thing. Somebody go do that because I want to see it. I want to read it. I want a story that is set in some kind of zombie-like post-apocalyptic world where people are at each other's throats. What's left of humanity is, anyway. And, I want you to do it without having any violence. And I want it to be good. So make it happen, somebody. It's probably not going to. Anyway, Neil, creative director at Naughty Dog, told Shack News then that the violence players would encounter in The Last of Us wasn't perfunctory, but served a purpose. Yeah, it's called survival. Anyway, The violence you see inside the world isn't gratuitous and over the top just for the sake of being violent, Duckman said. It's setting a tone. It's setting a reality that Joel and Ellie are having to deal with. Everything has to feel tense. Everything has to feel grounded in reality. The reason why we're going for such a realistic violence is because we want you to believe that the stakes are high for Ellie and Joe. You know what? Sounds like a good plan to me. There's nothing wrong with that. But here we go. There's a difference in how Naughty Dog handled the trailer of The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2. In The Last of Us, Joe may be gunning down hunters, but we understand why he's doing it. And those he's attacking aren't women or marginalized people. The trailer is violent, but it's justified. None of that justification exists in The Last of Us Part 2, where violence simply exists. So, why was he gunning down hunters? For somebody who hasn't played the game, me, I have no idea why he's gunning down hunters. All I can think of is he's trying to survive, and he has no other choice. Meanwhile, with The Last of Us Part 2 trailer, I'm thinking, these two people have no choice. They're about to be killed, because apparently they've done something to piss off these other 3 people who are dragging them there. And, yeah. So, kind of the same thing at that point. I don't follow you. There isn't just simply violence. There's still questions to be asked. Like, why are they there? What did they do? Why are those other people dragging them there? You know, it's not just simply violent. Then again, you could also say that Joe was gunning down hunters. It's just simply that violence exists. I mean, seriously, I have no idea why he'd be gunning them down. I'm just making speculation like I did with The Last of Us Part 2. And, yeah, apparently I guess you can't. In context with the rest of the game, the scene may have an emotional hook beyond discussed. We will probably get to know the characters and learn why this violence was necessary. No freaking kidding. Seriously? You have spent this entire argument complaining about it, and then you're like, well, chances are we'll figure out why. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You need to know why during the trailer so it doesn't seem so bad, I guess. That's what it is, because you've got to be spoon-fed every little bit of information real quick. You got to have it spoiled for you. You can't actually pick up the game, play it, and find it out for yourself. Yeah, that's right. The trailer hints at larger roles for both women involved. These women exist in a violent world set up by Naughty Dog in the original Last of Us. To repeat previous points, because it's important. It's not the situation the women were in that's jarring and inexcusable, but how the scene and those characters were introduced. If the trailer had spent 30 more seconds explaining that what had led to this repugnant moment, the violence may have been acceptable. What? No. I don't want to know why it led up to that. I want to go play the game to find that out. The trailer doesn't need to tell me. Seriously. It really doesn't. And it doesn't really tell me that those 2 women are highly important either. Just, they're there. And what about the kid? The little boy? He not important? I mean, he is the one who shot the other guy with an arrow. But hey, what do I know? Providing a trailer with little to no context leads to more questions about how this trailer came to be. No, it doesn't. It leads questions as to what's happening in the trailer. But that's about it. And that's what it should be. That's exactly what it should be. But yeah, it should leave us questions at why or what's going on and why it's happening. As for questions to how it came to be, I don't think I've ever thought that in my life when watching a trailer. But anyway, this trend is bigger than The Last of Us Part 2. A new trailer for Detroit Become Human, also shown at the Paris Game Show, included an extended sequence of domestic abuse in which a drunken man beats his daughter and maid. That seems like something I'll go check out here in a bit. But anyway, nor is this issue limited video game marketing. Last year, Fox came under fire for a billboard in Los Angeles promoting X-Men Apocalypse, and you're going to talk about Apocalypse struggling Mystique, aren't you? Anyway, Apocalypse depicting Mystique being strangled by Apocalypse. Like the trailer of The Last of Us Part 2, there is no context for the assault. There doesn't need to be. Seriously, Apocalypse is the main villain. Mystique is actually one of the good guys in this particular movie. And what it's showing is the fact that the good guy is losing to the freaking bad guy. Does that not go, oh snap, what's happening? Let's go find out. Seriously, all you see is woman's being assaulted by dude, take it down? That is ridiculous. Yeah, and I remember Fox had to also apologize for the billboard because some people got angry. But seriously, all it was doing was showing Apocalypse, what looked like the hero or the heroine in dire need of doing something at that point, in danger. And that kind of makes you want to go and watch it to see if she's going to survive, how she's going to get out of this, how are they going to get out of this. Is she the last one standing at this point? Is everybody else down? We have no idea from that billboard. But it does make us question it and want to go see what happens, doesn't it? But no, you just see woman getting strangled by man, therefore somehow that means that it's okay for women to be strangled by men. Because that's how your mind works. Anyway, I think this has gone on long enough. Why don't y'all tell me what you think down in the comments below. Go watch the trailer, and do you think it's just nothing but advocating violence for women? Or against women? Or is it just showing off that the game's going to be full of gore? Or does it make you question something, like what's actually happening here and how did we get to this point? And does it make you want to play the game? Things I want to know, let me know down in the comments below. See ya. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.